What's going on, YouTube? It's Dave's Daily Trades, back again with an update on AMC. So some very interesting things evolving in the market, which we're going to be covering today. Specifically, we're going to go over the Fed announcement, what changes are happening, and how the market reacted to this, and how also AMC played into this as well. We're going to be going over the SEC and how they're actually taking some actions, some very interesting things developing over there, potentially some pressures from the DOJ. We're also going to be discussing what's going on with these hedge funds, guys. Very interesting stuff that directly relates to AMC. And then, of course, guys, we're going to end the video breaking down the options flow using unusual whales. But without further ado, let's roll right into that intro and then hop into the technical analysis. And we're back. And literally within that 5-second, 10-second time frame, we jumped another % in after hours. This is some interesting stuff. But nonetheless, I'm going to try to focus here, break down the technical analysis, and break down all the other things that are on the list to discuss. So, if you guys did watch yesterday's video, we talked about that terminal shakeout, which is what exactly is playing on and why we saw that dip down to the $20 range. Now, of course, this not only needed to happen, but it was 100% necessary to happen to eventually get to those all-time high levels. Exactly what this was a shakeout, guys. What they're trying to do is shake out those paper hands and accumulate as much shares as they possibly can before driving the pressure to the upside. Now, this is all in perfect timing. Like I always say, the composite man is all about timing, all about getting those correct prices, rather. But also, it doesn't matter about the time frame. It doesn't matter about the setup. It's all in the supply and the demand, and that's all we're testing right now. Now, a lot of you folks, maybe not a lot, but quite a few of you folks yesterday were commenting that we're going down to $17 or $19. But today really confirmed, for me at least, that we are trending in the right direction. Now, we do need to keep this up, this trend line right here that I have played out. Specifically, why? It's because I'm relating this to just about January 4th, 2021, quite some time ago. What happened on this date? Well, as you guys can see, we finally had that price action up. That was in October 24th, and then literally just started grinding down. Now, we can relate to that. Us apes can absolutely relate to that because not too long ago, and look at the similarities between this. Trade up, we get to that $45 level, and then we start trading down. And then we literally kind of float at a lower level, which is this right here, and then we tumble. And this tumbling phase right here led us to that spring, that terminal shakeout, which we saw on that $1.90 level. That's crazy. And some people are complaining that we're at $24 right now. Just about a year ago, we're at $1.90. That's some freaking great movements, guys. We're making moves in the right direction. But this terminal shakeout here is very similar to what's going on here. Now, what happened is we did have that immediate spike up right here on the 6th. That was very similar to what we saw on that terminal spring or the terminal shakeout, whatever you want to call it. And literally what happens for the next couple of days after this is we trade up. We come back down to this trend line, and this isn't perfect, guys. I literally just kind of threw this up here. We'll make it a little bit better for you folks. That's a little better. So what we do is we trade up, we come back down close to that trend line. What's starting to play out on the 1-hour chart now? We trade up, we come back down to the trend line. Trade up, come back down to the trend line. Once we finally consolidate, which I believe is going to be somewhere around this range right here, that's where we start getting that price action back up into the higher trading range, which is going to be that 52 or just about $52, $48 range. After that, guys, it's off to the races. Now, I personally do believe it's not going to play out exactly like this. Of course, nothing is going to be 100% to the T here. Even A lot of people have been comparing it to fractals or cycles, but even these fractals and cycles, guys, they can be pushed, they can be slowed down, they can be more volatile. So we can't really compare this 100% and say this is how it's going to play out. But as a typical rule of thumb, we can use this as a guide or as a reference as to where we currently stand and what potentially is playing out next. So I thought this was really interesting and really more just want to show you that this terminal spring here that we saw play out on the 14th, it's nothing to be worried about. It happened before, and the result after the fact was very great for AMC. So jumping back into the most recent chart, really what I see for the next couple of days, hopefully actually to end the week, is we start trending higher and just having these higher lows consecutively until we start making moves back into this trading range. Now, price targets, guys, it doesn't matter. This price literally does not matter at all. The TA is more for the ease of mind, letting you guys know that this isn't a dead freaking cat. Things are actually looking better than ever, and there are just so many other factors which we're going to dive into tonight and really break it down and show you why the price action doesn't matter, but more importantly, that good things are literally right around the corner. Now, I do want to say we did have that small pullback today, which was totally fine. Reason being, in my opinion, is A, we wanted to cool off a little bit from these massive moves. A lot of buy pressure was coming in, but more specifically, I do believe it was the Fed meeting. Now, even the entire market, if we do jump into the S&P 500 or the triple Qs or even the Dow Jones, everything is pretty much the same. Where we did have a small pullback, as we can see early on in the morning, AMC did trade with the overall market today. And then right after the meeting, what happened? Boom, we started moving. Absolutely. And this is pretty much the same story across the board, where you have that low volume, but it was to the downside, low volume driving down. And then towards the end of the day, after that meeting happened, we had movement to the upside. Same thing happened with the SPY, the triple Qs, and AMC. So that's why we had a little bit of downward pressure today. Nothing to be worried about. And even getting more specific with AMC, volume was very low today. We had, I believe it was right around 50 million shares were traded. So to see volume dying down, especially when we were on the trading to the downside, is very bullish, guys. Low volume, but declining price, very bullish stuff. And I did send a tweet out literally saying that exact same thing right there. So we're making moves, we're trending in the right direction, and after hours, we're up over 5% right now. It's definitely going to be an interesting day tomorrow. But, guys, like I said, we're always going to be attacking, moving higher, and then coming back to a trend line and testing this. But as long as we stay on top of this until we get into this trading range, I'll absolutely say that this low is in. And I don't expect us to go to the teens. But, like anything, guys, it can change based on various events. But enough of this stuff. Let's jump into the bigger picture. And just a quick update on everything. The Fed, they are going to be doing their tapering. It's going to be $30 billion a month. And they're expected to be 3 rate hikes in 2022. However, the market took this message pretty well. And before we do jump into it, come on, play out here. I did want to just show you this meme. I thought it was super funny. Citadel soon. Absolutely burning to the ground. Shout out to Los over here. I don't know if you made this, if you ripped it from someone, but regardless, this is freaking gold. But, more of the story. What the hell is going on with these hedge funds? Rhetorical question. We know what's going on. First of all, we got Hong Kong's Tyborn to shut down a $2.8 billion hedge fund. States that increasing bearish bets were not working for them. I think that's some bullshit right there. And then again, we got Anchorage Capital is closing a $7.4 billion flagship hedge fund. What's going on? This is exactly the moment we have been waiting for. What have we been saying for literally months since I started this channel? The way this MOAS or this massive move up, whatever you want to call it, guys, the reason it's going to happen is it's first going to start with those smaller hedge funds who start to close out because of bad bets that they made. That's going to trickle its way up to higher and higher hedge funds up on the food chain, once we get into that 20, the $30 billion, we're going to start to see that price start moving up even higher and crazier. And then we finally make it to that final boss. And that's where it's game over. So this is the early signs that we've been waiting for the past 11 months. These hedge funds are bleeding. They cannot do this any longer. And the composite man, oh boy, he has him absolutely trapped in his position. Right when these hedge funds were getting absolutely cocky, trying to drive us back down into the $12, $15 range, composite man said, no. Started buying in. Remember we were talking about that volume yesterday, guys? That's the composite man doing his freaking magic. Hedge funds got way too greedy. They took some bad bets, and now they are absolutely paying for this. And just to show you guys this, because some of you are saying, oh, this won't relate to AMC, this is from a tweet from ex-president 13 Donuts. Very interesting name. I could go for some donuts right now myself. Anchorage Capital, 4 million share short position on AMC, as well as GameStop, BlackBerry. We'll pull this up for you right here. Look at this. AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, BlackBerry, and GameStop here at the bottom. 4 million on the put side. So what's going on, guys? These hedge funds cannot handle the freaking apes. That's what's going on. They only can play this game for so much longer. We already have these small hedge funds starting to go under, starting to close out. It's going to trickle its way down, and it's not going to happen overnight. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and see $100,000 a share or $1 million a share. It's not going to happen like that, but it's slowly playing out. And even relating this back to what we just covered, this is what I think it's going to look like. Not exactly to a T, but we're going to start to see these jumps, consolidation, That's what happened in January. But you know what the difference is? Us apes are so much more educated right now. They take this buy button away. They're screwed. Because we were fooled over here in January, absolutely. When, yeah, sure, we all panic sold. Or a lot of people panic sold. I wasn't in the play yet. I actually got in somewhere around this range over here. Yeah, just around 128. But guys, we're smarter. We're more educated. We have the DD down packed. We know exactly what their tactics are. We know exactly the potential of this play. So we're not going to be fooled here. We are absolutely not going to be fooled. The early signs are there. It's all happening. And then also to report, short interest back over 20%. And I do believe this was, what time did I post this at? 9:30 in the morning. So not the most up-to-date update, but I believe the estimated current short interest is now somewhere around 1.6 million shares. So it's creeping back up. But it gets better. This was a tweet from Walter Bloomberg. What does it say here? It says the SEC moves to force firms like Archegos to reveal swap positions. So, as we know, there are many ways to hide your short interest, your positions, to move them around, to do all this stuff. Not saying that Ortex has inaccurate data. No, they actually have decent data. But on the flip side, a lot of this data is self-reported. Meaning, if I got, let's say, 200 million shares on the short side, I'm going to tell them I got like 25 million or 30 million. And that's just an example, guys. But it's self-reported. Meaning, you can't really trust the data. In Ortex, it's not their fault. They're just collecting the data that is sent into them and then publishing this data for you and I to read and to make sense of it all. But the fact that the SEC is now going to force firms to show their swap positions really just kind of kills one of their tricks for tricking the entire system. That's a very popular way in which they hide that true short interest. It's how they hide their positions. And now that it's coming out, that is absolutely bullish, guys. Now, I do have to say, the SEC, I don't think had anything to do with this. I personally believe This is the DOJ, the Department of Justice, coming in and say, hey, listen, we need some more information. We need a better look into this. This self-reported bullshit, it isn't going to do because everyone can lie. Of course they can. So I think the DOJ is really stepping in, putting their foot down, and really enforcing change. And as we can see here, that is speculation, but it's working, guys. It is absolutely working. Now, just to end the video, like always, I just want to take a quick look into AMC's flow. What we currently have here is 65% on the call side and 35% on the put side. If you guys do remember, yesterday, this was only 55% on the call side. So we're creeping in the right direction. We like to see that, guys. The moral of the story, we're not going to go into every call and put here, but the moral of the story is a lot of people are getting out of those put positions. We have some bullish data for 12/17. I think we're going to have a good rest of the week. That's my opinion. Can it change? Absolutely. But it's all looking fantastic, guys. Time will tell. Take it day by day. Don't stress the small little pullbacks. Don't worry about the price action. It's all falling into place, and it's going to be absolutely freaking magical when it happens. All right, everyone. That's all I have for today's video. Hope you liked it. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content. You know what you got to do. Peace out and tune in for the next one.